Singapore, home to 5.6 million people. But for every 100,000 persons living here, there are about 19 who are sleeping rough or in homeless shelters.
Nationwide study of homelessness in Singapore has found that about 1,000 people were sleeping on the streets.
These numbers may paint a picture of a country that's able to house the vast majority of its residents. But let's not forget that each and every one of those numbers represents a human being, a living, breathing person without a home in 21st century Singapore. Who are these people? Why did they end up homeless? Where are they now? And perhaps when we get to know their stories, we can then ask ourselves, how can we help them?
This is quite a nice place to stay, I have to say, because it provided us with everything, daily necessity.
Roy used to live with his long-term partner until she passed away earlier this year. After her passing, Roy had to leave the house due to conflict with her family.
My younger sister Angeline helped me to locate this place from the assistance from Tai He Kwan. Then she managed to find this place for me to stay temporarily.
SGP stands for Safe, Sound Sleeping Places. They are temporary shelters that provide a safe space in which rough sleepers and homeless persons can rest for the night. SGPs are ground-up initiatives by community partners who have set aside space within their premises to act as a night shelter.
I doesn't know about this place. This place is recommended by my younger sister, as I said before, because she checked in internet. She applied for a rental flat, but not suitable. It's either too expensive or they doesn't want men. I wake up, I set my alarm clock at 5:40 every day because we got to follow the rules and regulations set by this shelter home. We must leave by 7 a.m. in the morning and come back at night before 10:30. I go a lot of places there, like Changi Beach, Sentosa, Woodland. A lot of places I went. I had to pass my time. Also, I don't know how to pass my time really. The shelter provides most of the necessity that we need, but only small things they don't have here, like TV, other areas. They will feel noisy because they sleep early. There's no privacy, no freedom. Correct. Other than that, everything is okay. They cannot supply too much everything to us. That is more than enough. They give us a place to stay they call home. It's more than enough. Now I want to have a home on my own, and I did apply for a balanced 2-room flexi flat. The result will only come out last week of this month, August.
Unfortunately, Roy's balloting for the 2-room flexi flat was unsuccessful. His other current option is to find a partner to share a public rental flat under the joint single scheme. If successful, he will likely have to wait an additional 6 months before getting his flat.
I am Stephanie. 大家好。
Transit Point at Jalan Kukoh is a transitional shelter that provides temporary accommodation and social work intervention to homeless persons who, like Stephanie, have exhausted all other means of accommodation. Transitional shelters typically operate out of several units in a HDB block, with a handful of residents sharing a unit.
这个很互助的，我也是有一点很难相处，就是啦。因为有的他们不要做嘞，那我又干净的人。 那我一直在打扫啊这些，那有时候我在下来我恐吓说他们还没有做留地什么，你给 IC 也是没有用 ，IC 都不管的，看人的。那个时候我的脾气也是有点坏，每次都是人家要听我，我不听人家的啦。那个时候我就不管了，我就 偏做工偏去抽咯，回去那条不应该走的路咯。
被抓了发生什么事？
被抓了进去监狱咯。我是不会怎么样，因为我的脾气，因为我忧郁症我也不知道，因为我家里的人跟外面跟亲戚的人也是合不来的，所以我就每天麻醉我自己，逃避我自己咯。我在里面想很多东西，我一直想，因为我说我出来什么都没有，我又不认识字，哪里找朋友？全部的朋友就是凑合的朋友，没有一个真正的朋友。然后我就跟主讲咯，如果你带一些人还来帮助我哦，我就听你的啦，我走你的阳光路啦。真的，他做到，我也做到给他咯。
During that time in prison, Stephanie found new friends that provided her support and encouragement to break free from her old habits. They also spoke for her as she sought to stay in transit point at Jalan Kukoh again after she was released.
有时候在想啊，没有屋子真的很惨的，这边给人家讲，那边给人家讲，没有地方住的时候啊，有一个屋子给你一个东西给你上司，也是一个很好的东西来的，好过你在外面半路睡觉，就几个月了，我的屋子来，我很高兴，去拿锁匙去开门，哇，我跳起来了，真的。我也是有一个满足了，因为什么呢？我没有得到这些东西的，我们去跟教堂的人去爬山啊，去走啦，去吃啦，他们跟我庆祝生日啦。我坦白讲，家里的人没有这样对我的。现在他们看到我已经走出来了，他们也是对我也是很好。
I got divorced in 2010, and in 2012, my flat was sold away. So I used to work as a security guard and sleep everywhere and nowhere, like in the park, under the blocks, on top of the top floor of the blocks, in county centers. This went on until 2019, when I became very sick.
Years of rough sleeping had taken its toll on Joseph's body. Befrienders from CWS found him sleeping outside with an attached urine bag due to urine retention issues. Joseph was eventually admitted to the S3P at Church of Christ the King.
So in the night shelter, I was much more better off. Only thing, in the daytime, we had to leave by 7 a.m. And most of the time, I'll spend my time in the library, reading books, passing up my time. And I come back by around 10 p.m. in the night. Coming back to the shelter was like a blessing, where you can bathe, wash your clothes, rest your body and mind. And there we were taken care of by volunteers from night mission, from the parish priests. CWS staff used to come and also console us and talk to us, give us the confidence that bad time will pass away and good times will come. People were so kind and so beautiful, like as if you are his own flesh and blood. They care for you. They go all out to make sure you are comfortable. Your stomach is full. Why I mentioned your stomach is full? When you are sleeping on the streets, you are always hungry.
Do you know of shelters like CWS?
No, I didn't know about all these then. First, they were thinking of putting me in a home, like St. Vincent homes, but I didn't qualify to go in there, you see. That one is for those people with permanent disabilities. My disabilities was only stated long term.
After a year in the shelter and 10 years since he became homeless, Joseph now stays in his own rental flat.
So when I got my flat, CWS never let my hand go. They helped me to fill up the house with all the necessary things. Even the night mission people, they chip in to help me to get everything and settle down. This is what I got from them all. This is all God's work through them.
Joseph still comes back to CWS, not as a stayer, but as a volunteer taking care of current stayers at CWS Bethlehem Shelter.
Now as a volunteer, I will go to the night shelter, work as a night shelter IC, make sure they come back on time, they switch out the lights and they go to bed on time. Boys don't go to the girls' room and stuff like that. And in case of any emergencies, I have some safety and firefighting experience because formerly I was a security guard. This is my way of serving God and telling Him thank you for helping me when I needed help, sending all His correct people to help me. So now I want to repay back to help others. I like to tell the public, don't look down on those people who are homeless. Because it's not we are homeless because of our own wrongdoing. Sometimes it may be external factors from our lives. We can't help it. I just hope they understand us, accept us as a human being,